Hello, and welcome to Twenties, Aplenty, our weekly campaign, the Headhunter Chronicles, a D&D adventure involving random people that met on the internet. This week, the group continue to track the raiders through the desert. Will they find out who they are, and why they raided the hamlet and slaughtered its occupants? If you enjoyed today's session, please remember to like and subscribe. Either way, we'd love to know what you think, so please leave a comment below. And with that, we hope you enjoyed today's episode.
We travel and roll, our intentions are good. Maybe we fight, at times polite. It's D&D.
So, when last we set off, the group had just acquired some camels and a wagon and were off across the desert, heading for Dragonsclaw so they could petition for the return of the airship that had been commandeered by the Dragonsclaw army. During the first evening of their jaunt, Barak provided some insight into why he was a little bit uncomfortable when they were in Dragonsfoot. He told a little bit of his history about how he was dismissed from the army after an operation gone wrong, and how he was made a bit of a scapegoat for the incident in which those closest to him had perished. Lucy was still a bit seething from the airship being commandeered. Amanita was feeling the cold of the desert evening. During the first watch, which was taken by Lucy and Varric, they could hear the traffic on the road nearby going back and forth. They had the distinct feeling they were being watched, but didn't see any evidence of anybody nearby. When Korsk came over to start his shift in place of Varric, he sent Pyrite up off searching to see if there was anybody nearby. Whilst he didn't see anything, there was a sound of footsteps from all around heading back towards the road. Lucy and Korsk headed off to investigate and found a number of footprints, but it was difficult to distinguish what sort of creature, other than they were humanoid, what sort of creature had left the footprints. He seemed smaller than a dragonborn though. The next day, they headed again along the river that they'd followed, thinking it was probably best to stick close to water as much as they can on their way to the coast, at least, when they had to get a ship over to the island where Dragonsclaw City is. It was relatively quiet until about lunchtime, and then they seen a wicker basket floating upside down along the river. Curious, Lucy stopped the cart and jumped into the river, wading through. However, such was the mud on the bottom of the river that by the time he'd reached the basket, he was up to his face, basically in water, looking up. Went to grab the basket, dived, grabbed the basket, fell forward into the water and got his arm stuck in the mud as well. Thankfully, Korsk had already spotted him starting to sink, so had slung him a rope to tie back round his waist. Eventually, they managed to get him back out again. Having had both arms stuck in the mud, he reappeared on the surface of rather stagnant water with a basket in his mouth. The basket kind of full with water as he come to the brim. He lifted his head up. It just kind of broke and he ended up with a bit of wicker in his mouth. At that point, the rest of the group noticed that there were things like apples and chairs and straw dolls floating down the river. All kind of load of stuff that had been dumped. They decided to not cut across the desert and follow the river a little bit further to see where all the debris was coming from. Lo and behold, very soon afterwards, they saw some smoke rising from a little hamlet ahead. Shortly afterwards, they found a body of a dragonborn man in his pyjamas, lying face down in the river. They retrieved his body and found that he'd been stabbed by a rather short blade, like a short sword. They made their way onward down to the hamlet and found that it had been completely ransacked. All the debris was people had obviously, whoever had ransacked the hamlet had thrown a lot of goods into the river. All of its occupants had been slain, some of which were Dragonborn. Well, they were all Dragonborn, but some of which were Dragonborn army, or what looked like former soldiers in a similar situation to Varric had somehow left the army. Varric noticed that they had a line across the back of their neck where somebody had obviously stolen their tags for some reason. Again, those that had been slaughtered by short blades. Footprints, although not undistinguishable in terms of race, but obviously not Dragonborn, headed off into the desert. After searching the hamlet and Lucy putting some items into his pants, there's some swords and some breastplates and some shields and stuff, Varric had wrote a message on the back of a shield, or part of a shield that Korsk had found, and they burnt the bodies. The group then followed the track into the desert, leading them away from where they wanted to be. Varric acting as navigator, using what little landmarks they were, and where the sun was in the sky, to at least know where they were in the desert. Eventually they came upon a large skeleton of a horned drake with a human skeleton inside that had obviously eaten. The skeleton looked like it had been there for a long time, but what didn't look like it had been there for a long time were some of these small curved blade swords that were lying on the ground. There was also lots of footprints nearby, like somebody had been dancing or fighting around the whole area. And then tracks led off, but not as many tracks as would normally be there, a few less. Suddenly there was a scurrying sound coming from underground all around the group, and then a rumble, and then up popped these 8-legged beasts with spiky legs, almost like a cross between a bird, a reptile, and a spider, and began to attack. The small ones were fairly easy to dispatch of. Lucy slung a fireball into the midst and got rid of a lot of them. The largest one entered the fray and sprayed acid on the group a couple of times. Pyrite being turned into a pile of metallic goo. Amanita's wolf that she summoned was taken out by a couple of the younger ones. And then Varric cast Blight on the larger one, killing it off. Marcus finished off the last couple of adults with his rapier. And that was that. So, you get back in the cart, Lucy driving, the rest of you have a long rest. So please feel free to sort that out. I need to sort Cleo out that way as well.
Cleo dead yet?
No, he got sprayed. He got sprayed twice with acid in the last battle, and failed his Constitution save both times, which wasn't great. 75.
That's as well as the wagon rolls across the desert plains. Any of you who kind of look over would notice that Korsk isn't really sleeping very well. He kind of keeps waking up in fits and starts and is kind of trying to look out over Lucy's shoulder out the front of the wagon.
Lucy will probably ask if, I'm trying to think of how he would say it. I think it's more like, "You're right, mate." So.
Yeah. I'll be fine, Lucy. Just wake me when we get into contact with the raiders.
A nod.
So, Varric acting as navigator across the desert in his homeland. Could you roll a survival check, please?
Just straight or with advantage, because I know the...
Yeah, just straight.
Straight. Alright. That's not bad.
Okay.
Eating.
You still know where you're going? You still know where you are, I should say. So you continue to follow the tracks. The wind is picking up a bit, so the tracks are starting to dust over a little bit. However, a number of hours pass. It's starting to get dark. But you see ahead of you, or Lucy sees ahead of him, something in the road.
Okay.
Just dark shapes.
Get wrong. 1 second, let me do it again. There we go. Oh.
He's on the edge.
Yeah, he's a bit undecisive about this, but he will not. What's Varric doing at the moment?
Kind of sleeping in the back.
He will pull the cart to a halt and just nudge Varric awake. Hey Varric! Hey
What?
Varric!
What?
There's something in the road.
Is there? Oh, what does it look like? Does it look... What is it?
Oh. I didn't really look. Let's see if he gets it. That's how many... Oh, there we go. Yep. He literally bolts it out of the cart and heads straight towards it.
I'll immediately chase after Lucy.
Okay.
Marcus, why are we stopped?
Have I just lost him?
Oh, fucking... Oh, no.
Where'd Varric and Lucy go? And then, of course, he's going to immediately go to the front of the cart and just see if he can see where they've gone.
Yeah.
I'm just screaming after Lucy. Lucy, wait! Wait!
So, could Lucy roll an investigation check, please?
How long has it been since we set off from the fight?
I'm assuming you've had 8 hours. It's
Okay.
like it was late afternoon, so it's probably like 4 or 5 o'clock. It's dark now. So
Yeah. Not good.
okay. And then Farrick, I'm assuming you've not lit the way or anything, so could you roll an investigation check with disadvantage, please?
With disadvantage.
Given you're legging it after Lucy.
That was okay.
Okay. So all you can make out is there are bodies in the road. Both of you. You can make it. Lucy still thinks they're shapes, but you can kind of you notice from your experience of the military those are people that have been struck down.
I'll cast light like immediately. So once I realise I cast light on the staff.
Before you, Lucy will be like, "Whoa, there are very odd shapes in the road."
They're not shapes, Lucy. Those are bodies. And then I'll light the staff.
Dead bodies?
They look pretty dead to me.
So I'm assuming you're like 50 meters away or something now. What do you do?
I kind of shout back to the rest of the group and just be like, there are some dead bodies up ahead. If you can hear me all right, please be cautious when investigating the area, if you're going to investigate.
It's getting worse. Alright, let's bring the cart up. I'll get out and see if I can unsight any bodies in the way. And what?
Nope. Carry on.
Basically, while Korska jumps down and does that, he'll also try to take a closer look at the bodies while he's kind of guiding Marcus in the cart.
Yeah, I was just going to say Marcus is just going to haphazardly take the cart forward. He's getting old, and his time with Lucy means that he is not as patient as he used to be. So he's just trying to go.
It's like,
yeah, basically.
runs
you
right over
find-
everybody.
You pull the cart up just short of where the bodies are. 2 of them are in the road. One's slumped to the side of the road. And then one is off. Probably about 20 meters away from the road. Face down. This one appears smaller than the rest.
I walk up to the small one and gently turn the body over.
And is anybody with you at that point?
When Korsk and Marcus are bringing the cart up, I think me and Lucy will kind of like walk beside it, and I'll follow along with Korsk as he checks the body.
You turn the body over. It's a kobold.
It's as I feared.
Farrick, could you do a perception check, please?
Mm-hmm. "13.
As he turns him over, you notice that on this kobold's breastplate is a symbol you recognize. It's the same symbol that's on Korsk's shield.
Does Lucy see this as well?
I'm assuming. Well, I would assume Lucy's pilfering off the other bodies, but or looking at the. I would assume that only two of them are looking at this one, and everybody else is in the middle.
Of course, that's.
I know. I know what it is. It's what I was trying to tell you back at the village. These kobolds are almost certainly my tribe.
Well, I'll ask you privately away from the group. What do you want to do about this? Do you want to... I mean, I don't feel comfortable leaving them to kill my people. But on the flip side, I don't want to massacre the rest of your people either.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know why they're attacking villages in their sleep. This is not what we do. We hold up random merchant caravans. We don't go pillaging people's towns.
Well, I think it's obvious to say that the situation has changed while you've been away, at least.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I just... There's one particular kobold. I'm not certain how things will go if we meet him at this point.
Right.
I'll give you a sign if I see him. But
right.
He's the only member of my closest family I've got left. That's why I didn't want us to come out here.
All right. Cool. Well, give me a sign then. Make it a very obvious sign, of course, because as you can tell, I'm blind in one eye still, and I might miss it. So
it'll be more obvious than that. Under the circumstances, I might even be able to introduce you. When me and Lucy went to check the tracks when we were camped earlier down the road, it seems clear that two of their scouts came, took a look at us and left. That might have happened because I was with Lucy at the time.
Right. Well, one thing I would suggest is you should probably cover up your breastplate a bit, hide it a bit, so at least then the group can immediately recognize that this might be the case.
Is it even worth hiding it from them at this point? They'll find out anyway.
Yeah. It's your choice. I don't know what might be the deal. If we go to another settlement, though, if we go to another town, I would hide it. If word gets out, they'll think you're a bad one. So
yeah, I see what you mean. As for Amanita, Lucy, and Marcus, I
think you're right. There's no point in hiding it.
I think
it'd be worth being open as well.
Lucy now comes after your conversation. Lucy comes bounding in and goes, "So, did you find anything interesting?"
Listen. And Corsk will point out the symbol on the breastplate and then show Lucy his shield with the matching symbol on it. The reason I didn't want us to come out here was because my family is almost certainly among these raiders. That was what I used to do before I became an alchemist. It's why I wasn't keen for us to go after them, kill them and take back what they stole. It's also why I need us to try and talk this through with them. I don't know why they've started resorting to attacking villages here in Dragonsclaw. I mean, it's way outside our usual ranges, but as Barrack has pointed out, something has changed, and I need to know what it is.
Lucy quietly nods. His face has that expression on it that's not too pleased.
I assume as well we would have called over Marcus and said the same thing to him as well.
Marcus is just going to be it's going to be one of the things where he's just going to be shrugging at it. And he's like, good on you for, moving on from that and finding your own way out of that. But I am going to try and remove myself largely from this situation, given the fact that I'm a soldier that used to be a town guard in another continent. So I'm not. This isn't my jurisdiction being here in Catan or on this island, but kind of hard for me to ignore raiders. So I'm just going to go and sit in the cart, and you can deal with this how you need to deal with it.
I'm kind of agreeing with Marcus as well. That's kind of the approach I want to take to this too.
Look, when it came to raiding, we did it in order to survive. We didn't always have the resources in the places in our homes in the science-fi forests. Often those little bits of extra cash injection were enough to get us the supplies we need to get through the winter. It wasn't right, as anyone else would understand it, but it's still my family, you know? I don't want us to end up fighting them.
Well, people will do a lot of dumb things for their family. Before we left Elves Edge, up in the Westlands, I damn near whipped some guy to death for threatening my father. So, maybe take some time, see if you can find anyone you recognize.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. And with that, of course, at least we'll go back to the wagon, and I assume we'll just try to skirt around. I mean, are we going to do a pyre here, like we did before?
If it's I'll ask Korsk if he wants the kobold body in a separate pile to be burnt as well, so it's not going to get eaten and stuff. But if it's dragonborn bodies like the rest of them, then yeah, I'd like to do a pyre.
Which brings us to what Lucy, Marcus, and Amanita were doing while you two were off looking at the smaller body. So could they all roll investigation checks, please?
Who's rolling?
Lucy, Amanita, Marcus, please.
I'll do Lucy's first.
Okay.
Marcus is investigating with his eyes from a distance because he doesn't like going too far from the cart these days.
Yeah, I mean, these are by the road, so you've stopped yards from them, basically. You will see there are a number of Dragonborn. There are 3 Dragonborn, 2 of which look like merchants. The other was battered armour, similar to the style that you found in the hamlet. You done Amanita yet?
I will doing her now. She would have just woken up and Lucy would fill her in with what's going on.
What you will notice, though, so Amanita, you will have looked at the body of the soldier, of the guard, what looks like the guard, and you will notice he has a similar striped wound on the back of his neck, as though somebody had rived a necklace from his neck. They've all been stabbed by these short swords that we talked about last week. Marcus, you'll notice that there are wagon tracks in front of you going off over the bodies, heading along the road. what you conclude is that it looks like this was a wagon that was coming along the road. The kobolds laid in wait and attacked and ambushed it. Whether or not this was a pre-planned attack or opportunistic, you can't tell at this point. But there is a pattern. With the wounds to all the military people that you've come across. And at that point, you get shouted over to go and see the other body, and we have that conversation, and we are back where we were.
So for the bodies, if Varric makes a pie for the Dragonborn, Korsk will pick up the body of his kinsman and place it with them too.
Obviously, it's been a while since I've been home and stuff. I don't recognize this soldier that's with these merchants, do I? No.
Could be one of a million.
These dog tags, Varric, they're not made out of precious metal or anything, are they?
Oh, they're just... I want to talk to Wayne about this. What are they made of? I would say like steel or something like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. They're just made of steel. I wouldn't say they're worth an awful lot. Unless you plan on melting them down, but that kind of defeats the purpose of what they are.
You would need to load them to even fashion a basic dagger.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it was a case of like a necklace or a wreath, that would be fair game, but something as simple as a dog tag, there's no point. May as well just leave it with its owner.
It makes me kind of feel a bit like it's a targeted attack. Now, I don't know if that's the case at all, but I'm not popular. I know my kinsman over here and there might not be too popular either, so perhaps someone's ordered something somewhere, but that's just speculation. There's no saying that is the case.
What the hell is a dog tag?
Oh, we wear them down here in the south, we wear them as identification. I kind of show Marcus the dog tag. It's identification for who we are in the military and stuff. And there's a lot of us, so and a lot of us die often, and sometimes it's hard to tell who's who. So it's good to have a form of identification to, well, at least we know who's who, and they're gone.
Lucy will probably suggest that we head on.
Are you following the tracks?
Well, of course, I want to run this by you one more time. What is the plan here? Obviously, given the nature of what we're aware of now, do you want to, obviously you don't want to keep pushing. I don't want to leave things as they are, though, and I want to at least get a reason as to why they're happening.
I think that we need to know more. Certainly the scale of the behaviour we've been seeing so far is very unusual, in my experience. Raiding was always a small-scale affair, but it was never done this far away from home. And to, as I said before, never to isolated towns. I think we need to know what's going on here. I just, again, like I said, just promise me you'll try to talk it out.
Yeah. And knowing more now, I'll do my best to try and talk it out, but it will only act in defense. I think that's a fair statement. If they come for us quickly, we'll do our best to not harm anyone, but if push comes to shove and in a defensive nature, it's going to be difficult. So you'll need to do your part to make sure that it doesn't come to that. Yeah?
I see.
I'm not going to let your kinsman stab me, I'm afraid, Korsk. I think that's a bit...
No, of course not, but...
I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't come to that. But
Thank you.
So, by now, on the map, so you headed out from the purple dot where the hamlet was, southeast, and then you've kind of curved around, and you're probably about where the M is in Desert's Mouth. The cart is winding in its path, but as you follow, you're generally heading southwest now through the desert. There are makeshift roads through the desert, and you can track the cart quite closely. You pass a number of hamlets over the next day, none of which have been raided. As you get further south, the winding of the cart seems to have straightened. It seems to be making a direct heading towards the bay that's circled. If it's a straight line between the M in Desert's Mouth and that bay, you're probably halfway along, so directly south of Desert's Mouth now, as you finish for the evening.
Do you think that Desert's Mouth might have heard news of the attacks?
I'm not sure, given the nature of the people that were in those hamlets. People like me, I doubt it. And if they did, they don't care. We're not particularly liked.
I don't understand. They're colonizing the desert regions. Was that not with government approval in Dragonsclaw?
No, those are deserters. The people that we've come across, found laying across the floors and stuff, are deserters. They're discharged like myself, or people who can't support what's going on. So they'll move to isolate themselves in the desert away from the people, because they can't, along the coastlines and stuff, there'll be more towns, and they're frequently traveled by the army and stuff. But it's not often people just cut straight across, you know what I mean? So
I see.
Easier to hide yourselves that way, I guess.
Yeah, from what I remember of my tribe, we generally try to stay away from major towns as much as possible, but occasionally we will go in to do trade.
People won't even do trade. Well, they'll do trade, but they'll spit on you afterwards. It's
Well, we get by.
Yeah.
I just if there are significant numbers of kobolds in the area, some news must have reached them at some point. Perhaps we could inquire.
Well, yeah.
I'm assuming you make your camp off the road again that evening. Again, you can hear traffic on the road, but because you're not along the river anymore or along the coast, it's quite quiet. You can hear the odd horse or a camel go past in the evening. Nothing of note. Again, you get a breeze in the evening. It's reasonably cold. This is the strongest breeze you've had so far. You find yourselves actually having to get a little bit more cover from the sand that's getting whipped up, especially Amanita. Generally, the night passes relatively quietly, uneventful. You wake up in the morning. Your water supply that Lucy wasted half of yesterday is replenished, so you don't need to find other sources of water because Lucy's got the mug. Lucy decided to take a shower after being in the stagnant river. So, assuming you just carry on in your journey.
Can I be right back for a quick break?
Yeah.
Just trying to. I think Lucy can doesn't have to sleep.
No, I don't think he does. I think he can. Does he survive on half the amount of rest? Is it 4 hours, but he doesn't have to sleep during that 4 hours, something like that.
Yeah, I just can't find it.
One of his pacts, I think.
Yeah, it's an eldritch invocation, I think.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go, found it now.
So, I assume you continue to head down. As you head southwest, you find the number of hamlets and the like turn into villages. Seems to get a little bit more populated as you head south towards the coast. Could you do a survival check, please, Barak?
I'd like to say to everyone in the car as we're kind of traveling as well that, of course, to benefit, I would like to try and avoid combat as much as possible. Yeah.
We've had a long rest, haven't we?
Yeah.
So you recognise some of these places now from your childhood. The trips back and forth between Dragonsclaw and the big cities when your mothers had been stationed at different places. It's very difficult. Now it's a bit more populated. You find that there's more cart tracks. So you're not quite sure you're following the right cart at this point in time. But you're heading you're just following your sense of direction based on where they were headed. Late afternoon of that day, you arrive at the bay. There's not really much there other than a ferry port and a harbour and the odd fishing vessel and fish shop.
the cart tracks gone all the way to the cart tracks we were following then went all the way to this particular ferry port.
So, sorry, while you were away, I was saying that
sorry.
it gradually got more and more built up. So the hamlets turned to villages and traffic on the road was a bit more. So whilst Varric knew where he was, it was difficult for the group as a whole to follow the cart exactly where it went because it wasn't the only track in the road anymore. So Varric guided the group where he thought it was headed based on his experience of the area, and you found yourself at this bay. You can see over the bay, over the channel, you can see the tip of a red tower. Varric knows that this is the red tower of Dragonsclaw, where the council of Dragonsclaw reside, where they make their important decisions for the good of the people. Is at the tip. It is a tower at the tip of a mound on which the city of Dragonsclaw is built.
Manito will just shout at the back. Yeah.
Almost.
You can see the ferry, a large wooden vessel, being rowed across the channel, is just making its way in. Carts and merchants and so on and so forth are making their way across from Dragonsclaw to the bay, and then they'll go their separate ways to whichever villages or hamlets or their business is in, or perhaps off to Desert's Mouth. There seems to be a rather short green dragonborn checking tickets at this point in time as people get off.
Well, my biggest guess is that group that we were following probably went to Dragonsclaw. But it's hard to tell.
Do we need to go that way for anything else?
Well, that's where we need to go to get the airship. Yeah, the request that we get the airship back.
Well, at the very least, we can perhaps change priorities and start getting the for the transport back instead.
Yeah.
Where would they go in such a city?
Well, if my previous theory is correct, and they were doing it because they were told to, and that's why they were collecting the tags, then, they're probably going to hand them in. And I don't know who to, but I can only guess that someone either in Dragonsclaw has asked them to hunt down, people like me. But that's just a guess. I don't know.
That would explain why they were interested in our group as a start.
Yeah. As to why they're taking the tags as well, and generally not leaving anyone left around.
Perhaps they can't distinguish between deserters and those that have been dismissed.
That's all the same to everyone else above us and around us, so.
or they have their own plan.
Yeah.
It might. The kobolds I've grown up with, in particular, they're not the type to allow more civilized folk to manipulate them into letting them become their slaves. If we get into some kind of business relationship, we're always looking to make sure it works out in our favor. I don't see, particularly my cousin, I don't see him taking orders from anyone without good reason.
Well, if it was money you guys were, well, your family was after, then I'm sure my government would pay handsomely to get rid of a problem of theirs. So,
Progressively, I can't see a particular scruple that would keep them from accepting such a deal.
yeah.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I guess if they want to focus their own forces on the war, it makes sense to at least show some punishment to those that are abandoning the cause.
Yeah. And that's why you'd hire out as well, I guess. You know, if you're short on manpower, you'll go to groups that'll do the job for you. Right.
Perhaps there is some sort of bounty office or the like where we can at least find the end of this trail.
Yeah. Back underneath his shirt is like thumbing his dog tags, kind of slightly nervous.
I think we definitely watch your back in this place.
Don't tell me twice.
Yeah, there are other problems to worry about besides the groups we've been following.
Oh, where to?
Well, we need to get aboard that ferry anyway. I think that's the biggest bit, or call just now.
The ferry port, indeed.
Lucy will click the reins.
Yeah.
Where do we get tickets?
I think we can get them from that little gentleman down there. And I'll point to the green dragonborn.
Yeah, he's odd because he's not like he looks like a fully grown, like features wise, he looks like a fully grown dragonborn, but he's about 5 foot tall.
Oof. It's short for dragonborn.
Yeah, he's quite broad though, but not fat. If you know, he's just square. So you head down. He's there with a clipboard, going through his prospective passengers, ticking them off. Well, howdy there. You got tickets for the ferry?
No, I was actually hoping we could purchase some there.
You did you? Well, normally it's payment in it's tickets in advance, but it's a quiet evening. I think I can squeeze you on. How many of you are there?
There is myself, my friend here Korsk, my friend here Amanita, my friend here Lucy, my friend here Marcus, my friend here Cleo, and then our 2 camels and our cart. My guy.
Wow, my friend surely has a lot of friends. Tell you what, give me a couple of gold now. I'll sneak you on.
I hand him 10 gold.
Wow, generous. You must want to get someplace really quickly.
Think of it as a tip for service.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And he ushers the carts on first. We're all the way down the end now, please. Just making sure that there's enough room for you to just squeeze your cart on. And then the whole throng of people come on.
Got a mental image that this is like the Channel Tunnel.
Now remember, when you get to the other side, you need to drive on the right, okay?
Remember to put your handbrake on and keep your seats in an upright position.
Before we head off, I want to ask him, do you happen to see a group of kobolds come through here recently?
Well, I see a lot of non-dragonborn folk come through here quite a lot. Yeah, I think I seen earlier today there was a bunch of kobolds. Seemed to have a merchant's cart with them.
This one in particular, he would have had several scars on his face and some gaps on the right side of his cheek, as though he had been smashed in at one time.
Well, there were certainly some ugly fellas, but that doesn't ring a bell.
Not sure how to take that comment on ugly fellas, but we'll breeze right past it.
Well, I mean, they certainly had scars and looked like they'd been in a few scrapes. Unlike yourself, of course, sir.
Oh, thank you. Just kind of brushes off some of the sand from his alchemist coat.
Well, if you don't mind, I think we need to lock the doors on the ferry and get ourselves away, okay?
Well, yeah, thanks for your help there, my friend. Thanks.
So, he himself, it being the last ferry of the day, gets on. Make sure everything's secure. You see one or two other crew members. You get the feeling most of the crew are down below. He blows a whistle. The oars come out. He blows a whistle twice more. The oars go in. And then he blows a really long blow on the whistle. And the oars start to move. You hear it like a bass drum striking underneath. At your end of the boat, you can feel it, kind of the ground shake, the deck shake beneath. The whole wagon's kind of just doing that every so often. Every time there's a bang on the drum for a stroke. You recognise they are making a hell of a lot of speed. In fact, it's probably like an hour and a half. And that red tower becomes a red tower on the top of a mound. And you begin to see the shape of the city appear. I think it's a good time to explain what the city looks like. Let me just zoom out a little bit.
I was tempted to get Lucy to do his, the God's speech type thing, but make drum sounds. To make I just can't find the spell, so I didn't bother.
Thaumaturgy, I think he was using. I think he was being quite careful about how he used it with Amanita, so it was only her that used it, her that heard it. So, let me just explain a little bit before you get there about, and I'm assuming Varroc's explaining all this. So, Dragonsclaw City, it's got a big red sandstone wall around it. And inside is like a limestone circular walls, and it's a lot like the limestone walls are like rings around this mound in the middle. At the top, you've got this large red tower that's got the council chambers and the military command centre. And each area in these rings has a name. So that centre circle is known as the mind. The next one is called the heart, and that's mainly where a lot of housing is, especially kind of upper class type housing. Varric, that's probably where you would have lived when you were in the city, growing up. Maybe not so much in your adulthood when you left home, but generally as somebody whose parents were stationed as they were stationed, you were probably growing up in the heart whilst you were here. The third ring is the sword, is the fist. Some of these wrong on my notes. So the fist is the barracks. Then you've got the cup, and the cup is the market, basically. There are a lot of houses in the market as well, but it's largely like fish markets and fruit that they've imported and meats that they've imported, like salted meats rather than like preserved type foods as well, given there isn't much kind of vegetation around. The outer ring is mainly a military guard called the shield. So that's like the second line of defense for the city. Looks after the important stuff. So originally the city was just these sets of walls, but eventually the city grew outside the walls and they decided to build this big red sandstone structure around using locally sourced stone. In there is where most of the commoners live, towards Sandsgate on the left, on the west as you look at it. To the right is more the kind of the standard barracks and the naval base. So whilst the fist is like that's where the elite soldiers are trained, the Claws Shield barracks are very much as just a standard for the guard of the city and the army training to go out to war. The naval base is very much where the naval command is and the fleet there's a fleet of boats, fleet of ships there as well, because a lot of the military needs to be shipped over to the island to the east where the war is fiercest. The one that looks, the island, the set of islands that looks like an axe. To the west, there's a flea market, and which sells like simple goods. It doesn't sell much. It's mainly like handcrafts and things like that. There are a lot of beggars there. Portside is where most kind of upstanding citizens live that are outside of the rings. Wall Shade is a bit more shady. It's where there's a bit of gang warfare and the street urchins seem to exist. There are some shady goings on. A little bit of a drugs problem in that area as well. Sandsbreak Port is the port where you will land. And Talon's Port is the military port, basically. So Sandsbreak Port is the commercial port. So, in terms of businesses, Varric knows of an inn that is rather unpopular with locals. It's called the Dragonsclaw. And the only locals that really frequent it are lawyers. The rest of the locals find the lawyers quite boring, so don't bother going there. But you'll generally find mercenaries and other people on business in the city staying there. There's also a range of armourers and weaponsmiths in Portside as well. But the further in you get to the city, the more you will find the quality of the goods available goes up. So if you're in the heart, for example, that's where you would find things like Dragonsclaw armour that you would be looking for. There's also a military academy on the Claw Shield, on the side of Claw Shield Barracks. There, Varric spent quite a bit of time, I would imagine, boarding as a teenager, honing his skills to fast track him into the army. Having parents that are both military based, it was almost expected that he would be fast tracked into the army. There's a library in the Cup and a museum in the public area of the Fist. And that is what all I will say, really. There are other guilds and things like that that you will discover as you venture through the city. So, the ferry pulls into a port. The port is made of the same limestone that the walls of the rings are made of. Steps climb up a cliff, partially up to the edge of the wall, and there is a door in the wall at the port. In front of you, at the edge of the port and around the door, there is stalls of markets. Inside, you can see hustle and bustle of people, even though it's late at night. You can see the streets are lit by torches. So, what would you like to do?
Guessing Varric was pretty much laying all this information to us.
Yeah.
Lucy is going to remind you that you owe him a suit of armor.
Yep. Don't worry, Lucy. I'll get it sorted for you. We'll find that out.
I'd say, Varric, when we came here to Dragonsclaw to try and petition for the airship, I didn't expect that we'd have to go through 5 layers of fortress walls in order to do it. Are they manned? Do we need a pass?
No, it'll be fine. The walls are for defense in case the dwarves manage to boat around here, but that's not possible. That won't happen. It's built this way to make sure the people inside stay safe. I mean, this is the capital in theory, so if this place goes down, then, well, the rest of Dragon's Foot goes down too, so...
It can't function without the senior leadership in place, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
Try and pretend that I haven't just lost my capital city back home, and ignore that comment.
oh dear.
So what's the museum of?
It's a military museum.
Oh, that actually sounds kind of interesting then.
I'll show you where it is, Marcus. I'll take you there at some point. We've got plenty of time over here. Be nice to stop off and see all the local spots again.
So by the time you get up off the boat, there's steps up this cliff, but there's also like a pulley system for the cart. But you've got you because you're at the back of the cart. You're the last. You're at first, like last one on. You're last one off as well because the doors open on the other side and let everybody off. So you've got to wait about an hour or so for this cart to be lifted up. Once you're in and through the gates, it's probably about 11:30 at night. Things are still bustling a little bit, but you can see merchants are starting to shut up their shops. I think perhaps we need to find somewhere to spend the evening.
I know a quiet spot. It's boring, but it's quiet.
Anything would be good.
I think boring would be a considerable recommendation of that trek through the desert.
Yeah.
Agreed.
For the dragon's claws, when...
So, the dragon's claws, as you remember it, is situated in portside. Anyway, so you're fairly close. Say, yellow sandstone building with red sandstone tiles on the roof, which is a bit odd for that bit of the city because often it's like yellow sandstone walls that look like they've been dug out of the earth, with more of a kind of random sticks or branches of trees on top, or thatch, or seaweed actually. You enter the building. It is thick with pipe smoke. There are rickety wooden tables all over the place, and these rather old dragonborn, well-dressed individuals talking to each other, droning on. Behind the bar is a... have I put any further? No, I haven't. Behind the bar is a red female dragonborn. Customers. Welcome to the Dragonsclaws. How may I help you?
To start with, I'd like a pint of your strongest ale, please.
No, there's a shame. We don't actually sell ale. Whiskey's our tipple here. One of 20 blends, ranging from 1 silver piece to 20 gold pieces per glass.
Let's go middle of the road. I'll take the 10 gold piece one.
Very good. Good choice.
It's enough to get me wasted, then it's good enough.
Well, yeah, okay.
I'll hand Course back his 10 gold pieces and I'll put down 30, so I'll have a 20 and Course will have a 10.
Lucy will nudge Varric and go, say that he could replenish the alchemy jug with the whiskey.
Oh no.
I'll have another one, thank you. And I'll put down another 20.
Oh my god, inflation by whiskey.
Inflation by whiskey.
Anything else?
We're actually looking for rooms as well.
Oh. Yeah, well, I think I can manage that. Now, how many rooms you have to?
Are we bunking up or are we gonna get separate rooms?
I'd prefer a separate room.
So
Oh.
it's... Go on.
And I was just going to say, not that there's anything wrong with any of you.
That's fine, I see you. You must think I smell or something. Separate rooms, please.
Okay, so that's 7 rooms?
Yeah.
6.
Assume so.
Fire Lucy, course.
Do you need any stable space at all?
Yeah, we got 2 camels. I mean, wagon.
Okay. So, how long are you staying for?
Be determined.
Okay.
Well, just for a week first, and then we might need to extend that time.
Okay, so about 15 gold pieces is our standard rate for a week. That'll include all your rooms and breakfast and your stable for the week as well. And that includes straw for your camels and mucking out and so on and so forth. We have a desalination contraption, so we take seawater and take the salt out, and which we then sell as product, and use the water the wastewater to feed the camels.
Say no more, I'm sold.
Drink, we give to the king.
Say no more, I don't care.
Let me show you to your rooms.
Is that 15 gold per person, or is it like for everyone? Like that's 15 gold.
It's in the poorer areas, one of the poorer areas of the city, so.
I put down the 15 gold then for everyone.
And then you turn. I assume you dump your bags and stuff in the thing, and then return to the bar. And you hear. You sense a couple of eyes on you as you return Varric. And then one particular a couple of Dragonborn's lawyers are kind of talking to each other. And then one of them just purposely starts talking loudly to the other, going, after noticing you come by quite close as you're on your way to find a seat. Oh, well, over the banishment, he's been asking about Kursak's redemption. I don't recommend it, but I'm sure that's what he wants to do. Thinks he's shamed his family, but I think it's a death sentence myself, but you never know. I mean, all these youngins, they're all a bit reckless with their life. And that's all you hear as you're in earshot.
I'll just kind of straight to the bar.
Do I do it?
What's up? Have you rolled a 2 for intelligence?
No, I haven't done Lucy yet. I don't think Lucy's probably just too busy trying to replenish the whiskey.
So you see him looking for a table. So you try and find a table in a dark in a snug or something like that, and start to decanter some of the whiskey into the jug. Having gone to the toilet and emptied the jug out.
That's a really long way.
Imagine someone's knocking on the door. You're right in there. You know, that's jeez.
Some guy going.
What is that smell?
There's one of the lawyers having a wee in the next thing, going, well, somebody had more than their fair share of water today.
It's important to stay hydrated.
Well, especially around here.
While them lot are talking, Amanita's gonna sneak up behind them. And
Well, the two lawyers.
yeah,
Oh,
like
right.
the one that's talking out loud.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want me to roll stealth?
Yes, please.
God, it's all happening now we're in the bar.
Okay, so they don't notice you. He's talking about a case that he's got. With you gather his client has been banished and is looking to. On paper he's been banished, but he's seeking appeal. He doesn't think that they'll change their mind. And this particular banished soldier is trying to seek something called Kruzak's redemption, which is basically a kamikaze mission for the army to, if successful, will reverse the banishment. But it's very unlikely he will survive. So it's like restoring his family's name, but sacrificing his own life to do it. It's a bit of a loophole in the Dragonsclaw law, and it is infrequently used, down to the fact that a lot of soldiers have not heard of it.
As they finish off their conversation, Amanita's then gonna, like, pretty much in an innocent, childlike way, say to him, I can hear you, you know, you're very loud.
Why? Oh, you know it's rude to sneak up on someone while they're having a conversation.
I mean, it's very rude to be very loud. You should be more considerate of other people.
You sorry? My hearing's not too good anymore, so I tend to talk. Can you speak up a bit when you're speaking to me?
Amanita will turn around to face Varric and go, oh, I heard you talking a lot. She'll say, like, shouting, trying to meet level.
Well, we do come here to talk.
Oh, that's nice. What was you talking about? Like, I heard most of it, but you don't mind me asking?
Well, you see, I have this case that I picked up, it must have been 6 months ago. Now, on that particular day, I had my brown suit on. It was
My God.
quite strong wind that day, and it was, I'd got sand in between my scales, and I had to go for a swim that evening and walk. But anyway, I got up and I had my breakfast after I got dressed, and
With that, Amanita's face just drops and she just goes, I gotta go! And flies off.
Alright, see you later. Nice young lady, though.
I should just plop herself next to you guys and just go, well, that's boring.
Sorry, I just tried to Abraham Simpson you.
Oh,
It's working.
Oh, it was going on about some bloody case. Boring.
A lot of people in here are lawyers, actually, so they'll come here and discuss their cases and what's going on in the political side of things.
Oh, no, you gotta say it like this. The gentlemen love to read the written word and exchange stories from gossip around the town.
Exactly, of
just
course.
once.
Well, just him, but slightly younger.
You know, I'm coming to the impression that lawyers are truly ageless. They're born at 50 and then start going up in 20s. Where's another one of these drinks anyway?
Are you sure you don't want a strong girl?
Hit me up. It's not working anyway.
Does anyone else care for a drink?
No,
Why not, Marcos? Are you gonna join us?
I don't drink.
I have a feeling I should have known this.
Would you care for some other beverage, Marcus? I'm sure they got plenty behind the bar.
Sure, but surprise me. But if it's alcoholic, I'll break one of your knees.
That's fine. A non-alcoholic beverage for my friend here, please. And the strongest whiskey possible for everyone else. Apart from the bald guy, he take a water, I guess.
Okay, so the Oh, well, I'm not sure I got water. I got some soured goat's milk.
Is that any good for you, Cleo and Marcus?
I think I'm fine.
Yes, I think I will pass, thank you. Unless they have some tea. That requires water, I'm afraid. Oh. I thought you said you had water for the camels. I wouldn't drink that if I were you. There's bits floating in it. Oh. Okay. What about some sort of fruit juice? We got some cactus juice. I will have one of them. Okay.
Cactus juice is water.
This just reminds me of Avatar
Why
with
do
the
we get
cactus
them?
juice.
Sorry.
If you've ever seen Avatar with the airbender one, they have cactus juice.
They're stuck in a desert of cactus juice and it causes them to like hallucinate and stuff.
So Cleo gets this like plucked cactus outside with this big kind of scooped out and then filled in with a drink and a little umbrella and a straw. It looks very cocktaily. It's like, better than the sour thing, I think.
It does look fancy.
So she's then like, yeah, the strongest whiskey we have actually is only 5 silver pieces.
Then why are you making everyone else pay 10 gold for blended whiskey?
That's because that's the stuff that doesn't strip your insides.
Well, that doesn't sound like a fun experience.
It's good fun all around. Everyone will be fine.
If you got the constitution for it, you're fine.
I'll have a double, and everyone else can have a sip.
Are you
You can
getting
smell
Amanita one as well?
You can smell this whiskey before it even touches you. It's like
Darren, double.
the
A
fumes.
single for Horsk.
The fumes hurt your nose. It's that bad. And then so could whoever's drinking the whiskey do a Constitution save, please?
Oh, Lucy.
Oh, jeez, rolling well. My attempts to get drunk are completely failing.
Hey, Lucy, of course. There you go, it's Lucy.
Amanita got one as well. I had a double, so is that a disadvantage for me?
Yes, that would be disadvantage.
There you go. Oh, what have I done? Oh, I did alright, I did.
What did Lucy have a double as well?
No, Lucy had a single.
Lucy
Yeah,
has-
for some reason it decided to roll twice.
I'll count the 19. Barak's already had quite a bit to drink. He's starting to get a little bit. He's kind of like looking down his nose at people. Like not nastily. It's just.
Vision.
And then starts getting quite opinionated about stuff, I would guess. Does his ranting thing that he does.
Have you seen the prices of these things going up recently?
Or
Unless it's reflected at the bottom of the shot glass. I don't think I have, no.
of course, you're not. Don't feel yourself getting drunk. You just feel yourself getting more depressed by the situation that you find yourself in.
Having the opposite effect. Opposite intended effect.
You kind of wonder whether or not some of this particular whiskey would be useful in a some sort of alchemical concoction. Seems quite flammable.
Korsk, having drunk a few shot glasses so far, is going to try something out with one of his spells. So first he starts lighting up a torch. I'm just wondering if anyone wants to do anything about this before I go through with it.
Horsk, please don't do any spells on the inside of the tavern.
Lucy will be encouraging you on.
It's been days since I've had the alchemy lab set up. It's time to see what this
Marcus is going to take everything off course.
I ask you to roll an opposed dex check.
Marcus is dexterous. That's
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's fine.
At this point, Amanita, soon you get your chemistry kit out. She's like, no more injections!
Just to see if he grabs it before course.
No, I didn't.
All right. So
You see Cleo take his umbrella out of his drink and his straw out of his drink and has it at the ready, just in case there's a fire to put out.
This is what happens. Fireworks inside the tavern. So the drink just erupts in a burst of various colours: purple, red, like garish yellow, and then it's like you remember how Catherine wheels go?
Yeah.
It's like 3 of those dancing around the roof of the tavern.
They're very pretty but dangerous.
Must have overdone the strength.
You get
One
this.
more, Marky.
This lawyer that's nearby is like, I can't speak.
Yeah, everyone has to make a con save or get blinded.
I can't see either.
Yes.
I'll represent you if you represent me. Deal.
Right.
I think there's a lot. We've got a strong case against whoever bright lights on. And then the lady behind the bar is like, no more of that. You've had enough to drink. Off to bed, please.
Me or the lawyer?
No, you. I don't want any of that shenanigans in my. I don't want you destroying the place.
We need to find a better bar. The only fun allowed to be had around here is on paper.
Alright, Cloris, that's enough. You're gonna say something what you're gonna regret in a minute.
So Lucy's blind. Marcus is blind. Amanita's okay.
Oh yeah, and the save is 15.
Oh.
Barrick's okay. Korsk is blinded himself.
Yeah. He can't see anything. He's just blinking away like after him. It is trying to tell if it's the alcohol or the experiment that did it.
Lucy's like touching Marcus's face, trying to figure out who it is.
After a few seconds, things kind of. You just see dots. And then your vision restores back to normal.
I think that's bedtime for Korsk. Good night, barkeep. I'll be taking you upstairs now.
You're not my dad. Go away.
I just kind of like pick Korsk up by like not the scruff of his neck, but like the back of his coat, and just kind of like hang him by the harness.
He's too drunk to do anything about it. Yeah, of course, it's a lightweight. It's pretty much his first time seriously drinking.
So, where are we? We're still in the bar? Or have we started going
just
off?
headed to bed.
Headed to bed.
Of course, not having a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Thrown into his room and the door's locked.
Cool.
Confiscate the lab as well. Let's go.
That's not the problem.
Oh god.
Fortunately, I think I'm gonna say he's just too. He basically starts taking just shakes his head, takes his lockpicks, tries it a few times, but just keeps dropping the picks.
Stumbles every few seconds, just slips out the fingers. You know.
In the end, he just passes out with his head like against the door.
Cool. So,
How big are the rooms?
they're fairly small. There's like a bed, a wardrobe, a chair, and a small side table, and they're all crammed in. You've got enough kind of room to think. It's a shared bathroom. What should I say? A shared hole in the wall that drops down into some sort of pit. Could you all roll a survival check, please?
Not great for Varric.
Lucy's good at survival. Sorry, someone? That's 7.
So, Korsk, whilst you are not really looking for sleep, as soon as your head hits the pillow, you're off. The rest of you find the beds quite hard. Lucy kind of lives with it and goes to sleep. Varric, you're kind of used to it, but it's still relatively uncomfortable. And everybody else has a bad night's sleep.
Bad night's sleep, I would say. the beds are too soft because I fucking love a nice hard bed.
This is like mattress is harder than the floor. I was like,
If it's not a slab of stone, I don't want it.
so you expected this nice, soft, like that nice, comfortable bed, and it's just like, oh, might as well have just slept on the floor. You've gone to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning. You've had plenty of rest during the previous day anyway. You are woken by some gong at 7 a.m. So you've had your 8 hours, but it's been a disturbed 8 hours for everybody but Korsk. Korsk, could you run? Could you roll a Constitution save, please?
Yeah.
You hear the gong. Your head is splitting.
Yeah.
You run out of your room before even thinking about what you're wearing and leg it towards where you think the toilet's going to be. Thankfully, you remember where the toilet's going to be.
Yeah.
You stick your head out of the hall, kind of shocked by the cold coming in through it, and empty your stomach into the hall. You smell the smell of bacon coming up the stairs. Could you do another Constitution save, please?
E.
You're ravenously hungry. And you head down for breakfast before even waiting for the rest.
So Koska's there in a pair of it's basically striped pajamas. They look way too formal. He's clearly got them out of the Catan clothes shops. And he's just he's probably run up about 20 gold pieces tab with the barkeep, just shoveling bits of breakfast he can into his mouth.
So breakfast was included. So you're just kind of like, you're probably having some of the others' portions. It's just,
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount per table.
May have drunk Marcus's cactus water.
Marcus had nothing.
Marcus had his water skin when he got to his rear, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, it was Amanitas then.
It's Cleo that had it.
Cleo, sorry.
Yeah.
So you were that drunk you couldn't remember who ordered the cactus for.
Yeah.
So he's busy chucking stuff down his throat. Cleo joins soon afterwards and basically has a few nuts and berries and a bit of fruit. A little bit of orange juice, which he pays extra for.
Amanita will come down looking like tired, and she would just be like, "Of course, you know you said you had the coffee."
Did.
Do I have some, please?
Varric, I need my lab stuff back. Just screaming up the stairs while Varric isn't even awake yet.
I'll bring down Korsk's lab stuff and hand it back to him.
Don't worry, no fireworks this time, believe me.
Surprised you remember that.
So the lady comes in with some more to top up the bacon, and she sees you there with a flask. I told you, no funny business. What are you doing?
Making some coffee for my friend here and me.
Can I have some? It's an age since I had coffee.
If you forgive me for what happened last night.
Yeah, I think you kind of owe me some coffee for that.
Deal. And Korsk will whip up 3 so effectively double espressos for Amanita himself and the barkeep. Also have some coffee here to actually drink while we do that.
Wow, that's amazing. You make this every morning?
As a rule, if people are asking. Helps keep the brain together while you're trying to read through your ancient runes and stuff.
Well, you tried to obliterate your brain last night, so I guess you got to try something, haven't you?
Yeah. Troubles on the road and all that.
So what's everybody else doing? I assume you're coming down for breakfast.
Ordering a whiskey.
Oh, shit, whiskey. I like a man who knows how to start the day.
I wink, but it looks like a blink because I can't really control the other eye. So it's a bit...
Just a long.
Really trying to reach for it.
You got something in your eyes?
Oh, you cut it there for a second for me, Wing. Sorry.
You got something in your eye there, sir?
Yeah, something in my eye, yeah.
Very good. Enjoy your whiskey.
Thanks. So, plan for the day. I think we should go see the council about appealing that war vessel. However, I don't want to go. I'll leave that to... I have to go, I suppose, don't I? I need to talk. I'm going to try and do as little talking as possible there and not get involved too much.
Do you need to go as your own person?
Yeah, I have to go as... I don't want to lie to my council. I don't appreciate I don't appreciate them, but I can't lie to them either. It's, yeah.
Don't put the lawyers on your back, I guess.
Yeah. So I think we should get that sorted and go see the bounty office about that dealings we had in the desert. I just want to find out.
Yeah. I suppose it can't be put off any longer.
No. But it's a side thing. The most important thing is at least starting the process of getting that ship back for lats and stuff. So we'll do that first, and then we'll go get that stuff sorted.
So, you finish off your breakfast. Where you headed first? The mind.
Variek's going to sit up, though, and try and hide. And you'll let everyone know that his name, whilst within the inner part of the city, is Karav, and not Varek.
Karav, not Dustin.
Not Dustin. See, different names for different locations. Karav.
Also devastated to report that we are out of cheese and sausages.
It'll be bad now. It'll be really bad.
I mean, Lucy has, I think, got some cheese and sausages, but they're probably not the best.
Oh god, he put them in the pants of holding, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Lucy pulling out a sausage from his pants. Like, that's...
Especially if it's stinky sausage.
Thinking how it will go across whoever in the bar, god.
Yeah, Charlie's just literally sent me the bag of holding stuff.
All 4 pages of it.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah,
It really is.
Wayne did have a good go at emptying it out.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to try again at some point. Think of a way of doing it again.
How strong did you make Manita's coffee?
It was a double espresso, wasn't it?
Pretty damn strong. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the the kind that leaves that bitter aftertaste in your mouth for the next 2 hours.
She'll just like sit. There you go. Like with the bitter taste, but she needs it.
Yeah.
So you head out. The gate system in the so the first gate through the first wall is they alternate between being east and west to being north and south to being east to west to being north as you pass through the rings. So you've almost got a zigzag your way up. So you go in by the flea market, you head north to where it says the shield, then you go south, and then you got to go round to either side of the cup to get into the fist, and so on and so forth. So you it's quite a walk, and it probably takes you a couple of hours to make your way through the city. Could you all do a perception check, please?
Yes.
Korska's still dealing with his hangover. Oh yeah, it's like kobolds are normally pretty sensitive to sunlight because they've got that sensitivity perk. It's been made about 3 times worse by the fact that he was wasted the night before. So he's just walking through like
You're squinting really hard.
just bumping into people all the way.
So Lucy and Amanita notice there is a young dragonborn, hooded, following them for a period of time at least. Apprehensively watching the group and the business.
Lucy will. Whoever's nearest to him, like him and Amanita will nod because they're whispering, say, and then whoever's nearest to Lucy will warn them of the goings on.
So, who's closest?
I would like to think I'm trying to guide Korsk at least a little bit around.
Yeah, Korska's right at the front, still trying to figure out where he's putting his feet.
Just try and catch him in case he falls. I'm not sure where Marcus would be, but I don't know if Lucy and Amity would be like behind me, or if Marcus would be next in line and then them at the back.
Don't know where Jim is. I think he's slipped off for a moment.
Right, I was say he would have let Marcus know, and then Amanita will kind of come up to Varric and Korsk. Seeing Korsk the way he is, just like looking at him and then go, nah. Go to Varric and whisper.
Korsk walks right past you and into a lamp.
Oh.
Korsk, you need someone to carry you.
I'll be fine. Don't worry. Just let's try and find out what's going on with the ship and then with my family.
Could you take 3 hit points, please?
Okay.
It was a meaty lamppost.
Do you want like a harness or something so I can get like a lead and attach it to you so you can like...
I'm not your child.
I'm just saying, man.
Amanita will go up to like Varric by his ear, flying like slightly over his shoulder, and just whisper, "Someone following us?"
I try and take a sneaky look to see if see if I can notice something.
So it is a rather slim, black dragonborn lady with piercing yellow eyes. She looks like an adolescent. So a teen. Unsure about herself. But seems quite intent on watching you.
Just to let you know, Jim, Lucy warned you as well that there was someone following us, and this is what Wayne said was the person who's following us. Oh, that's my words there.
It's Meldry, I'm going to set you on fire, Wayne.
I don't know who that is, but
Meldry's dead.
Fucking better stay dead.
Oh god, becomes a lich.
Meldry's dead. I might close that loop with the story, though, as part of the narrative, but down the line. So, you've noticed this Dragonborn. She hasn't noticed you notice.
Right. That was my next question, but cool. Right, I'll whisper back to Amity to tell Lucy and ask her to tell Lucy, play it cool. Let's act like we don't know that we know that they're watching us. Right?
okay. And we need to go back and speak to Lucy.
Needs it.
Needs it or doesn't quite need it.
He's determined. He's like, what? Like shouting out loud on him. He then snaps and
Huh? Oh. Oh.
Okay.
At that point, she disappears into the crowd behind you.
Oh, we go for that. Don't need another assassin on our heads again.
Yeah, that wasn't fun, Catan, now was it?
No.
Do you mean again?
There's been a couple assassination attempts on our group since during that brief period of time where you weren't with us. I think, yeah.
Lucy's like scratching the back of his head. It's just like remembering himself being knocked down and getting back up.
Lucy's near-death experience, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was that moment we tied ourselves to, what was it, like a trophy pole or something? To make out that we were being captured in order to lure the assassins to attack us. And instead an entire mob chased us.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah,
It was Lucy's idea.
So it was, there was a member of the Thieves Guild that had a run-in with Alice, originally called Urine Brownhood. And basically, when you got to Catan City, there was a bounty posters up for him, his daughter, his son and his wife. His wife and his son tried to kill the group. At which point the group decided that they, having killed them and traded in the bounty, they decided to disguise themselves as the daughter and the son and paraded round. Of course, because they had a bounty on their head, a load of people came out of the nearby pub to try and take them out.
Worked like a charm.
Just worked a little too well, is all.
I mean, this was like moments after they traded in the bounty as well, so nobody knew. So, but Urine Brownhood is still knocking around somewhere. Out for revenge, no doubt. So, you are... the Dragonborn is gone. You are probably in the cup at that point, and you continue to make your way up to the mind. There is a surgery once a week in the lower chamber of the Red Tower. That morning is the day of the surgery. Coincidence would tell you. A crowd has gathered, and you have to register your petition and wait your turn until you're called. There are a number of people sit in the gallery around the council chamber. But basically there is one representative of the council who is listening to petitions and deciding upon them. Today, it is a dragonborn lady known as Miran. Who is one of the top brass in the military and is now an advisor. And the council is in an advisory capacity. You head off to the person taking the petitions. A bit of a called Jobsworth lady. She is a yellow dragonborn. Thinks a lot of herself. And then you're in the queue. You get to the front of the queue. You get to second in the queue, and you can hear, "No, dear. You petitioned this last week. There is no way that the council will listen to your petition once again. Give it a month. You'll come." But that wasn't. I don't care. It was your name. And the same issue was discussed last week. Come back in a month and we will listen again. But you're wasting my time. I can waste some of yours by throwing you in a cell if you want. Okay. And the man, looks like a shopkeeper, disappears.
Before we head up, and as the advisor's still talking to the old man, I'm going to lean down to, of course there's a no-bit state to be dealing with any of this.
He's improved a little bit from the walk, but not a massive amount. Probably just enough to write papers, but it wouldn't be a good idea to let him negotiate.
What are we to do then?
I gotta negotiate. I gotta talk.
Come on, don't dilly-dally. Hurry up.
Yep, sorry. Coming through.
Oh. Name?
Karav.
Is that with a K or a C?
Karav. Karav.
Okay, and your clan?
Our vessel was seized by the military, and we're...
No, sorry, not your petition, your clan. What is your
clan? Draken.
Harav Braken.
Harav Draken.
Draken. Oh, interesting. And what's your position?
Farmer.
I'm his assistant.
I didn't ask you for your occupation, dear. I asked you for your petition.
Oh, petition. I thought you said position. Sorry. No.
I also thought you said position, to be fair.
We're here to request that we get our vessel handed back to us. It was seized by the military in Dragon's Foot.
Yes, our crop dusting vessel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Crop dusting vessel. And what was the capacity of this vessel?
What was that?
What was the capacity of this vessel?
It was. Did we ever figure out how many people we got?
How many liters, dear? How many gallons?
Lots of gallons. It was a big vessel. It not like a typical one. It floated. It flew through the skies. We used it for
crop dusting.
Okay. Seems a bit strange for the military to be taking such a thing. Either way, okay. You may proceed to the council chambers.
Thank you very much, advisor. I will. Yep, we'll go through. Thanks.
So move.
So you head through. There's 2 guards guarding double doors. Please remove any headgear before you head into the chamber.
All right. I pull back my hood. I'm like totally covered up though. Like I'm like not showing any of my like outfit.
Thank you. You may proceed. And they open the door. And you head in. It's a bit like the Houses of Parliament in a way. Although where the speaker would be, in terms of, it's like tiered benches at either side, and there's people kind of stood or sat all around as people stood up at the back to watch. And there's this black dragonborn lady looking rather ancient.
You know, I never thought I would be near a center of civilizational power like this.
You were in Catan for ages.
Never anywhere where the nobles ate or carried out any of their business, though. Spent most of my time there with Sybil.
That's fair enough then.
As the group walks towards the lady, there are a number of whispers. As word spreads, Varric, you begin to feel rather uncomfortable. Almost like a Mexican wave as you walk past. Eyes look down to the ground. A clerk hands Miran. It's rather ancient-looking dragonborn, sat in armour, rather ceremonial, shiny armour. She's got a number of scrolls next to her and a lectern, and she's kind of writing. She leans forward on a throne thing to write something down. She's got a pair of spectacles on, and she kind of looks over And as she does, she receives the thing and reads the scroll of paper that she's just been handed. Oh, a vessel, eh? And then somebody rushes up and just whispers. Her eyes widen. I have marching order, please. So Varric's obviously at the front, leading the group in.
Corsica would be standing to at Varric's shoulder.
Okay.
Marcus will probably be at the back. Because he's not very talkative.
Which leaves Lucy in front of Amanita, and Amanita behind, not being ROC then Marcus.
Okay.
Cleo with us as well.
Cleo will be towards, probably look to be towards the front, but behind Korsk. Welcome to the surgery of the Council of Dragonsclaw. I understand you have a petition regarding a vessel. She looks directly at Korsk. Can you please explain your predicament to me?
Our ship was impounded, I guess you could say, by the military without any notification to ourselves or justification given.
Your ship? That's not what it says on here. It mentions something about a large barrel that floats in the water.
It's close enough to a ship as any, right?
Well, I guess if you use the word vessel, there are multiple things.
Yeah, bottle's just a turn of phrase.
A ship? What sort of ship are we talking here?
We take it for flights. We use it to dust our crops, make sure they grow well, don't get infested by any of the parasitical or carnivorous insects that live around the area we farm.
And what area is this that you farm?
And he'll name the desert region around... what was the city we passed on the way? Is it Dragonsfoot? Dragonsfoot, yeah.
Strange. We've been at a station there for quite some time, and I've not been aware of any farmers up there.
We're only a small affair. There's only 7 of us here.
Yeah, you need an airship to crop dust, do you?
Yeah, the environment is extremely harsh, and growth is hard enough to achieve as it is.
And what would a kobold, an elf, a whatever that red thing is, and the little fairy there, and a human have to do with growing crops in such a harsh environment?
Ah, yes, well, we are the first multinational company of our kind. We're just starting up in a very small way.
In a war-torn land.
Keeps the land prices down.
Tell me, where did you grow up, my friend?
Who, me?
Yes.
A little region south of the Catan border. Not really known for much in particular, other than occasional trade, merchant caravans.
What about the rest of you fine people?
I'd say Lucy looks very angry at this moment in time.
Marcus probably doesn't look thrilled either.
Positive bunch, eh? So, you say you grew up south of the Catan border.
Yes. Yes.
What was it like growing up there?
Pretty impoverished, I guess is the word you would use. Partly why I'm here, to increase my station.
And your family? They still there?
I believe so. I haven't spoken to them properly in 3 years.
And what would they think of your little venture?
Probably not much, if you insist on asking. May I ask what these questions pertain to?
Well, I just want to understand the people who I'm giving an asset back to, if that's what you want. I suggest you humor me.
Lucy pipes up and says that he wants to speak to the guy in charge, the boss man.
You see, in Dragonsclaw, there is no boss man. There is a council of elders. You're looking at a member of that council.
Aye.
I suggest you answer my questions, and then I will preside and make a judgment. So, what was your relationship with your mother? She's still around?
Sorry, I didn't realize you were my psychologist now.
Lucy's getting very, very angry, and you can see a small spell pick up.
Marcus is immediately going to grab Lucy by the scruff of the neck, because he's used to dealing with shit like this, and they're both going to leave the room. Take your time out, because Marcus isn't particularly thrilled with the questioning either.
Yeah. I've got Charlie messaging me at this moment in time.
Well, some doesn't like their mother, do they?
I guess I'm with my mother perfectly fine, thank you. As I said, we haven't really spoken much in the last 3 years.
And would you say she will be proud of her son?
I would wish it so, yes.
How about your mum? You seem to like to talk and chat.
Well, my mother's not around. Right?
Why?
And she starts playing with a ring on her finger, looking down sentimentally at it as though it's something her mother had gave her. It's a silver ring with a pearl. Well, my mother was killed in the war long ago.
That's very sad.
I've lost quite a lot of family to the war over time, but it's the way it is these days.
Do you miss her?
Even lost my son to the war long ago.
Oh no. So what do you do now other than this?
As I said, I'm a member of the council. I advise on military strategy. We're at war.
Why did you choose to do that?
It's tradition. Our family has been military throughout.
Oh, why is it tradition?
Because we are at war. We
Why
hold
is-
glory.
Oh,
In Dragonsclaw,
cutting her off.
we hold military prowess as a status. One must make their family proud. One does not make their family proud. They are dead to them.
Oh, that's not very good. Did you make your family proud?
I believe I did, yes.
Bag coughs, choking on a bit of spit or something.
She looks back at Korsk. Do you make your mother proud?
Don't see what the point is of this line of questioning, and I'm beginning to feel a bit put out by your insistent attitude.
Well, to business. So, if you were to obtain the ship, what would you do with it? Where would you go?
Back to our farmstead. Our farmstead? Farms. We have a crop that's waiting to be dusted as we speak. And the longer we spend here asking inane questions, the longer it has for it to spoil.
Seems a long way to come to simply dust some crops to kill some pests. In fact, you a true Dragon Ball. You would have seen it as an honor to that ship would be used to get rid of some larger pests. White-haired dwarven pests. However, you must consider that this is a potential international situation that we need to deal with. For that reason, I would be willing to return the ship in the state that it is, as at the point in which you undertake a job for the nation of Dragonsclaw. One that could not be undertaken by some of our kind. You see, intelligence suggests that the cracked dwarves are planning something. One of their military strategists, their greatest mind, the Greeran Ironbelt, is visiting Deepstone to share plans of the Crag Dwarf King with the military. I want you to head towards Deepstone, uncover their plans, bring them to the military at Ankles for. Let me have a look. Bring them to the military at, and I forget the name of the place. Very unprofessional of me there. Bring them to Wrong map. Bring them to the military at Axemouth, and you can have your ship. That is my condition. Take it or leave it.
Course glances very pointedly at Varric.
Her eyes remain fixed on you.
Shouldn't we let Marcus and Lucy know first before we agree to anything?
I lean down and whisper to Korsk. Perhaps suggest a break quickly to propose this idea to the rest of our group.
We require 5 minutes to consider your proposal.
Very well.
To get some fresh air.
The one thing I will add. If there are Dragonborn in your party, I will give you the name of somebody you can visit that would provide an adequate disguise. You have 3 minutes.
You are most generous. And with that remark, Course will turn his back on the assembly and then march stiffly out the doors.
Yep. Varric kind of ushers the group towards the back, then out the door, so we can have this 3-minute discussion.
Anyone else feel suffocated in there?
I lead the group to a secluded bit where...
He says that after we've kind of gone to a quiet place.
Oh, that's awful.
Is it customary of your rulers to ask so many personal questions in an interview?
It is when it's a personal matter.
Well, Lucy, Marcus, you've heard the discussion as we...
Lucy is not happy.
You've heard the discussion as we recall it after you left the room. Do we accept this? I don't believe we have much of a choice if we want to get the ship back.
You've had 1 minute.
My personal thinking on it is we turn this offer down.
Sorry, say again.
We turn this offer down. This isn't a good deal. And knowing that I'm involved and this is indeed a personal matter for me now, I don't think it's a good idea. You know how difficult it is to go see the Cragdoors and get that information specifically?
I'm not particularly enlightened on that area of the world.
It sucks. It sucks.
You would be saying goodbye to the airship for good.
Not unless we stole it.
Yes, do you have in mind?
They stole it from us. We can take it back. It's ours.
Of course, we need to find out where they're keeping the ship.
Sorry, guys.
Oh no. Is this related to Lucy's comment?
I think she told you it was in Axemouth.
Okay.
Or indicated it would be there
Yeah.
when you were finished.
That intelligence roll is scaring me. I mean, just looking at what Charlie put in general, I'm worried if we walk back in there, Lucy's going to cast Fireball in the middle of Parliament.
Lucy's gone.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Lucy Well, without
Damn you,
while
Charlie.
you guys were chatting away, Lucy snuck away, disguised himself as a very chapping dragonborn, and has gone up to the lady, and is now trying to chat her up and
Nice.
charm her to try and get this airship back.
Right, I need to remember what my spell list is.
So,
Can I just ask for clarification because I was a bit confused? Who's the one who's talking to us? Is it the advisor, like Miran, or is it I can't say.
Miran, she is a member of the council. She's been appointed to the council on an advisory capacity.
Great, fantastic, excellent news.
So as Lucy is trying to charm her, you will notice it has little or no effect. She is just sat there uncomfortably looking at her ring and playing with it in habit.
Lucy's giving it the old eyebrow wiggle, and it's not having an effect.
He's not happy. Oh god.
By
Okay,
the
so
time- Go on.
the assumption, I think, is that we're not taking the deal if Lucy has already kind of decided the matter.
That's my personal take, but I don't think we should take the deal. Is the final thing I suggest. That's suicide. And I don't think it's fair to put that on you guys when it's not your affair or business.
Clearly, if we need to get hold of the ship, then I think we need some help. We cannot walk into a military stronghold, just the handful of us. We would need some sort of distraction so we could get in and onto the ship. We would need to be able to dispose of those that are already on the ship. We would need somebody who could crew the ship, assuming that they've disposed of the crew that was there already.
I don't think they would have gotten rid of the crew. I think they would have kept them.
We would need some ability to sneak away without being shot down. These are all reasons why we should think carefully over the proposal. We could always accept it for now, but make the decision later.
Alright. That's a good idea. At least then we know it's safe.
So you re-enter the room, and you see Miran getting quite annoyed with Lucy, going, I've told you before, your charm spells will not work on me. Nor will your disguise.
Lucy is not happy.
I know you are one of the group that has just visited. I know you're not Dragonborn either. You don't have the stance for it. Or proudly prim, and your mannerisms are just not.
Lucy will then spit out and say, what happened to the crew that were on aboard the ship?
They were not harmed. I suspect they will be in Axemouth themselves. We'll be making what use of them as we can. They will be rewarded for their contribution to the cause.
More like slavery.
Lucy's getting really aggy now because we paid 5k for that crew.
She stares at when Marcus says more like slavery. She her glasses are down at the end, like kind of down her nose a little bit. Dragonborn nose. And she just kind of looks over the glasses at him sternly.
While she's distracted, Korska's going to try and seize the moment to push Lucy out the front door before it gets any worse.
So, you know the proposal? Do you accept?
Advisor Mingran, we would like to accept your offer.
Do you accept, yes or no?
He literally just said yes.
Who said yes?
If someone could answer yes for me, please.
This is with Lucy.
Lucy will contest Korsk trying to push him out.
Okay.
If I'm using Expeditious Retreat, do I get any kind of advantage from that? Or is it going to be a straight strength between us?
I would say not, because it just allows you to go fast. It doesn't give you any strength benefit.
Alright. I went for strength then.
So.
Yes,
Lucy's
of
still
course.
got a roll. Lucy tries to resist, but you're there kind of stomping out, dragging him like a little child, like a child by the scruff of his neck.
Like with that level of success and with Expeditious Retreat, it's almost like Claus just picks Lucy up on both his hands and just immediately, like cartoon style, just charges out of the wall.
Yes or no?
Yes, apparently.
Very good. Very good. Now, you must seek out Venkar Baron. He will offer you a disguise for any of your Dragonborn friends. You'll find him in the wall shade. Now, this matter is at an end. You are dismissed. And she gets this like thing of wood and just bangs it on the lectern in front of her. Next petition, please.
What a pompous bitch.
Oh god, does Marcus say that before we leave?
No, he doesn't.
As you leave, Barak, could you do a perception check, please?
Yep.
There is one pair of eyes that looks directly at you as you leave. As you catch her glance, you see this Dragonborn lady, about 10 years younger than you, dark blue, tearful eyes, just a glimmer of a smile as you catch her gaze. in the corner of one side of her mouth. Then she looks away. You recognise who this blue dragonborn is. She's of your kin. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
At that, you leave the room. And the door shut behind you. And you are ushered out of the building. Well, that was an experience.
Nothing like being home.
Indeed.
I hate it here.
Me too.
Your banishment really seems to have taken effect on people.
Yeah, it was I would like to think I was quite popular beforehand. And, yeah, I think it bothered people when they were told about what happened. So, yeah. Although, Lucy, I will praise you for not, as we're like walking down the street this way, like, I will praise you for not lighting that room on fire. That would have been awful. So thank you for not doing that. And thank you, Marcus, for taking care of him.
Lucy just turns to you and just like gives you his evil stare. The Lucy stare.
Lucy.
I've been having to take care of this asshole for literally months. This is I'm really kind of a little fucking sick of it now.
Really, he always describes you as best of friends.
Yeah, but he set a church on fire once, and that was...
I'm guessing Lucy would say to that with good cause.
it wasn't good cause.
Charlie's arguing Lucy did not set a church on fire.
Yeah, there you go.
What's the church?
No, he technically
he set a mansion on fire.
And blamed it on the priestess.
And then blamed it on the priest, yeah.
He just thought about it, apparently.
I would like to say Lucy did not set that fire, the priestess, as far as anyone is aware.
At this point, Marcus is going to be pretty fucking certain that it was you the entire time.
Wayne and Jim both know it was Lucy.
Yeah.
Awkward.
There's only one pyromaniac in the area at the time.
And we know now that Lucy has a fondness for disguising himself.
Indeed.
Amanita will pipe up and say to you all.
Well, I mean, we can do it. We've done plenty of things, and we'll get it back.
I thought you were talking about burning the church down. But yeah, that's a good plan, too.
So, we obviously need to think this over. Perhaps over lunch.
Yeah. Let's head back to the tavern and discuss things further in private.
Let's call for more coffee.
Also, hearing Marcus say, Marcus say that he doesn't think of Lucy as a good friend. A tear.
He does. It's just very exacerbating to have to constantly fix the problems Lucy creates.
He's an arsehole, but he's your arsehole.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lucy is like one of the two people from the original group that he still hangs around with for a reason.
Cool.
Well, we checking the bounty board, actually. Or the bounty hunting office, rather.
If it's on the way back, I think it'd be worth stopping and
You're
quickly.
not aware of when you left there being a bounty office. Perhaps one of the guilds might be the place to go. That's one you've got to try and search out.
We can hang fire on it for just now, of course. There's no rush. I just... Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to know why my tribe are in this part of the world to begin with.
That's all I want to know as well. That's all I'm after. Just some answers. Oh, and just so everyone's aware, Advisor Miran just so happens to be my mother, and that's why she won't talk to me. So now you know.
You left that out of the introductions.
I didn't think I'd see her. It's been a very long time since I've been home, and I wasn't sure.
Is that why she was talking to me as the head negotiator instead of you?
All conversation was aimed at Varric. The whole asking about family and whether or not your mother would be proud of you.
Right.
The fact she lost her son to the war. You know, Hans, that's what's happened.
Oh yeah, she's a lovely lady, I'm sure. Anyway, let's get some drinks and lunch. And Varric will kind of speedily walk towards the tavern.
Not sure when to change the order from coffee to shots again. And then a course will follow as well.
Cool. So, as you're halfway, I'm assuming you're going. As you're heading down, you're in the cup, heading round. From a side street, you hear somebody. You hear a psst. Psst. Not sure if you can actually hear that noise.
Yeah, I'm just like...
And you get this like little stone land at your feet.
I turn and look.
Just sidles over to the street.
You see the Dragonborn you saw earlier, beckoning you into an alleyway.
Oh, no.
We travel and roll, our intentions are good. Maybe we fight.